Hi everybody, I think our Hangout on Air is live right now. I have this little question and answer box on the side, so let me know if you can hear me. I've got or you can also enter a little message on the say something part under the video. I'm not sure. Okay, so I think some of our participants are having a few problems getting in. I'm going to see if I can invite them one by one, a few of them. I'm going to answer their questions. Oh, you can hear me. Bernadette says yes, she can hear me. Deborah, can you hear me? If you can answer on there's a little box where you can click on the question and answer. Okay, Nadia, can you hear me? Oh, okay, I've got the wrong screen on there. She said, Sue says, there's a tough-looking guy with glasses on. I was not on my screen. So here we are. I think everybody can hear me. So we're going to start our webinar, and it's called Smart Websites and how to have an engaging website. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So here we go. Smart websites, 10 things you really need to know. So what we're going to talk about is a few technical aspects. I'll leave that to the end because there are things that you can't control yourself. You'd have to get someone technical to do those for you. Search engine optimization, a few quick things that you can do yourself, and also marketing. So this section here are all things that you can do on your own. If you have any questions while I'm talking, feel free to enter something in the question and answer section, and I can address them at the end. So search engine. Let's talk about how to get found, how your website gets found. So we're going to talk about 4 quick tips. Phone numbers, addresses, inbound links, and outbound links. So I'll explain what that is. So you always want to have your phone number on your website because that tells the search engines that you're a local company, that you're not a scammer who's going to leave everybody hanging. If you have a local phone number, it means you're a credible business to the search engines and also to your customers. You get a huge improvement in local results. And what I would suggest is not listing your cell phone number because it is online, and once you post something online, it's there forever. What you can do is get an online number. So for example, our business line is 460-5077, and what that does is it's our virtual number, and it goes to our cell phones, or we can have several lines for the different people that work for us. You know, like you always hear, press 1 to reach technical support, press 2 for sales, that kind of thing, and you can set that up easily. Prices range between $10 a month and $50 a month, depending on what you're looking for. So it's very affordable for small businesses, and it makes you look great. If you have, if you're operating in multiple locations, what Google wants you to do is have a phone number in each location, and again, that's really affordable with online numbers. So you could have all the different area codes that you work in, and it would just go to your cell phone. The same thing happens with addresses. You want to make sure that you list the city that you're working in and the postal code. So we have some clients that work, that live out of town, so they live in Cochrane, but they do all of their work in Calgary. And what you do is you get a P.O. box from the UPS store, and when you, or different mailing services, but what happens there is you get a suite number. So your address would be suite 350, and then the address of the UPS store. So they would receive all your packages for you and your mail, and they're all over the city, so you can have something close to where you are, so you can pick up your mail frequently. And again, you get extra points from the search engines for having a local address, and also your customers have more credibility for your business when you have an address listed. If you want to look like a really big deal, you can get mailing addresses or P.O. boxes right downtown, like you're in Gulf Canada Square and all kinds of stuff. And we know a lot of people who work, for example, in Hollywood. They work for the movie industry, and they go right on like Hollywood Ave and get their addresses there. So it happens all over the world. Again, when you have an address, if you're working in various locations, you do want to have a page that lists all your locations. So when you're in the Contact Us section of your website, you can see it on big companies. They have a location in Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, and you can do the same with these P.O. boxes. Super affordable. I think the business ones range in about $150 a month, and they can go lower just depending on what you're looking for. So again, really affordable for a small business. Next, we're going to talk about inbound links, and this is a big misconception about how it works, and you have to be really careful here when you're dealing with the search engines. So inbound links means all the links that are pointing to your website. It's really important to have them because it tells the search engines and it tells people online that you're a credible source. When people are linking to you, that means you have some great information to share, and they want to link to you. So the search engines take a lot of they give you a lot of points for that. The big thing that you want to watch out for is that inbound links should come from credible sources. So they should come from the newspaper, from associations. And if you have inbound links, I'm sure everybody's seen when you get an email saying, if you share your link with me, I'll share my link with you. You don't want to do that. You'll actually get points knocked off. There's a way to tell the rating of websites, and you actually want to get inbound links from websites that have better ratings than yours. And an easy way to think about it is just think about your associations, your Better Business Bureaus. Companies that have really high credibility will have high ranking online usually. So what you want to do in this case is you want to join an association and do it strategically, because associations cost a lot of money as well, and you don't want to join 1,000 associations just to get their links. You want to strategically join associations that link back to you. So for example, the Better Business Bureau, they've really got their link system down, and you want to join them so that you can get a link from them. And they've got a great website because they have thousands of pages listing all kinds of businesses. So the search engines always list the Better Business Bureau. The other one that does really well online is the Yellow Pages. So not putting an ad in the Yellow Pages like the physical paper, but you want to have an online ad so that the Yellow Pages is linking to you. Again, your trade associations will link back to you, and other publications. So one way to get credible links back to you is to do some strategic press releases. And then we're going to talk about outbound links. Outbound links means the links going from your website to somebody else's. And like we said, we want to guard these like gold. You don't want to give these out freely. They're your secret tools to stay high in the search engines. What I found really interesting is that Google rates each of your web pages independently. So your home page will have one ranking or one kind of rate to it. Your Contact Us page will have a different rate, and it treats your website as if each page is its own independent website. So that's what you want to think about there. When you use links, you want to use them in context. So what you want to do if you're talking about for example, you're talking about some herbal medicine. You might be a naturopathic doctor. You're talking about herbal medicine and you want to link to where it can be purchased. You want to write a little paragraph about that medicine and link to it that way. You do not want to have, like what was popular back in the 90s, a links page, because that really docks you points. And if you have more than 100 links on a page, Google automatically thinks that you're just trying to mess around with the search engine. So you definitely don't want to do that. You can get blacklisted by Google, and it's really hard to bring your credibility back up. Try not to have links on your home page or key pages like landing pages. Landing pages just means pages where you direct your clients to go to learn more about your services and make a purchase. So try not to have them on your own homepage. The only exception to that is if you have a blog on your homepage and you're writing articles and talking about something and you link to it for further reference. And there's a few more strategies regarding outbound links, and I can write a little article about that because it just can go on and on. Again, one more quick tip about outbound links is that when you do write an article, instead of linking directly to the other person's page, you make a page within your website, and this is where we're supposing that you have full control of your website, and then it's easy to edit. So we're going to go into marketing. So marketing is all about getting your customer to trust you. Here, I'm using my PowerPoint because I'm new to this screen sharing thing. So 3 quick tips that we're going to talk about is the call to action, having a valuable gift, and writing blogs. So a call to action just means telling your customer exactly what you want them to do. And that's just human nature. A lot of salespeople, for example, if you know that if you don't close the sale, if you don't say, when would you like to call you back, or when would you like to purchase, you'll never get the purchase. And the same thing happens online. Just because we're not interacting with a human ourselves, it doesn't mean that you don't have to follow the same psychological principles. So your website is interacting with a human, and you want to tell them exactly what to do. So that contact me or give me feedback or register for this workshop, buy now, share this, and you always want to tell your visitors, your prospective clients, what you want them to do next. Do you want them to buy something from you, or do you just want to start a relationship? So if you're an e-commerce website, if you're selling goods, then you want them to buy something, and that's where you lead them. Buy this. You bought this red jacket. Why don't you buy these red pants to go with it? If you're a services company, then you want to start a relationship. And what that means is sign up to my newsletter or sign up to download this document. And again, the psychology of the human brain is that it problem solves, so you want to ask it a question or tell it what to do. One specific example is for a photographer, for a photography website. One of the things you can do is tell people to download a document, and we're going to talk about what you can give them in return. So that's your valuable gift. When you ask for a call to action, you usually want to trade an email address for a valuable gift. And a valuable gift could be a document that you provide your clients, your prospective clients, a video, 10 tips, a coupon, something like that. Like I was saying with the photographer, what you can do is offer an event planning document. So 101 tips on a wedding photographer, for example. 101 tips on how to have a successful wedding. And so your people who are browsing your website, they like your pictures, so they kind of have some credibility in you, and then they're going to download that kind of document. Another thing would be give me your email address and I'll give you a video, for example, the 10 best tips on how to have the best website. And a coupon, as simple as 10% off your products or services. We have a client that has gained over 10,000 emails in the last maybe 6 to 8 months just by offering a 10% coupon for something that costs maybe $30. So all kinds of stuff. You can be really creative with that. And what you want to do after you've given this valuable gift is you want to keep providing value to your customers or your potential customers by earning their trust, by communicating with them, by sharing your expertise. And you would set up a little campaign that you can plan out in advance and share information with them. Like I talked about before, you can create a landing page, and what that means is that when you say you have a button that says join us now or download this document, it would take them to a special page that would talk about why they should share their email address with you and what you're going to provide them. And a lot of times people hire what's called a copywriter, and they write that text. So you might not be a wonderful writer and not be able to communicate that. And that's easy to solve. You just hire somebody who's great at writing compelling copy. So a compelling story that tells people these are all the reasons why you should give us your email address and let us keep talking to you, keep establishing that relationship. Online relationships are a lot like offline normal relationships. You can't just get married the next day. What you want to do is you want to first date the person, take them out to dinner, or just say hello at first, right? And then you go slowly from there. And that's what we do when we communicate with people online through email or through sending them videos. Once you have their address, you can communicate with them various different ways. And one way to communicate is through your blog. So you ideally want your blog right on your website, right on the home page of your website for many reasons. And one of them is for a search engine reason. If you're changing your blog all the time, consistency is the key, not volume. So if you're changing it all the time, the search engines will come back to your website often. The reason I say consistency is because the search engines have like a built-in program that tells them, okay, every 2 weeks this website changes its blog. So that happens every 2 weeks. So the search engines come back every 2 weeks. If you're changing it every 3 days, and then every 2 weeks, and then every month, and you go back to every 3 days because you remembered, the search engines are going to get confused, and they're just going to go for like the longest period. So they're going to come back every month instead of every 3 days. So it's best to create some kind of schedule. So what I suggest is at first doing 12 a year, and that's really reasonable. You write 12 topics, and then you start posting them once a month. Then you can move up to 24 if you feel really confident with that. So 2 topics a month, and then 52 would be great. If you could write daily, if you're a journaler, you can write just 1 paragraph on your blog, and that's going to bring you huge credibility online. And not just for the search engines, for the people who are following you. With the valuable gift exchange, so getting that email, you can send, with some of the online systems, the web systems, you can send your blog as a newsletter, and that's a great way to stay in touch. You're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, writing a blog on your website, and then automatically sending it to your subscribers. And again, if you're not a writer, that's okay. What you can do is, again, hire writers to do that for you. And one of the methods that we use is that we interview our clients and get their information once a month or once a week, and then create a quick blog for them using experienced writers. So now we're going to go on to the technical bits. So what I talked about before were all things that you can do yourself. And then with the technical stuff, it's really important, but it's something that you need a technical person, a website developer, to do for you. So these are 3 quick technical tips. So we're going to talk about page load speed, browser compatibility, and internal links. So when we talk about page load speed, it's a really important user experience. We know now that Google judges you for it, so again, they will take away points or if your page loads really slow. And one of the things that you want to avoid are flash websites, because they do load really slow, and there's all kinds of different technology that you can use now to show really nice pictures on your website. I'm going to give you a few statistics to show you how important page load speed is, and then we're just going to go visit a page that loads really slow. I'm sure we've all experienced it. So some really great statistics are that 40% of your visitors will abandon a web page if it takes more than 2 to 3 seconds to load. Google found that an extra 500 milliseconds in loading time resulted in a 20% drop in traffic. Another statistic from Yahoo is a similar speed would see 5 to 9% more people leave the page before it even finished loading. And some Google statistics show that slow websites affect long-term behavior. So it's not just something that happens now. The person kind of keeps that in their mind, that negative impression of your website. At peak traffic times, more than 75% of online consumers left for a competitor's website. So they'd rather pay more at a competitor's site than have your page load slowly. 88% of online consumers are less likely to return to a site after a bad experience. So you're losing a lot of traffic there with a slow page load. And then more than 1/3 told others about their disappointing experience offline. So they went and told a friend that, oh, I went to this website and it was awful. So I'm going to show you a website that looks really nice, and they talk about cases and things like that, but every time you click somewhere it says loading, please wait. And even though it's kind of it's faster maybe than 3 seconds, just that one loading, please wait, has actually affected their business significantly. So just this little, I'm not sure how many seconds, 1, 2, 3, but it happens on every single page. So that's something that you want to be careful with when you hire a designer. The next thing we're going to talk about is browser compatibility, and there's a couple different things that we can talk about here. One is what's called responsive web design, and that means it just works on all different devices. So it works on your home computer, it works on your laptop, tablets, and mobile devices. Again, there's technology out there right now that we're using, for example, that once we design a website, it works on every device, and it's configured to do that. But traditionally, what web designers would do is they would have to make the website work on the home computer, and then they'd have to redo it to work on a laptop, redo it to work on an iPad, and etc. on the phone, and which would mean it would be really expensive for a small business owner to get all these configurations made, because they're having to pay for that time. Now there's technology out there that you design it once and it works on everything with very few modifications. The other thing that I want to talk about that's also I found really interesting was that different versions of internet browsers like Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Chrome, they all have their own settings. So the way that they're written, the way that their software works is different. So a good web designer will actually promise you that they'll optimize your website for the latest releases. So we have an example here. I've got a landscaping service company, and this is on Chrome. And I'm gonna change screens here, I think. Oh, well, I'll just talk about it. So on Chrome, we've got the white bar at the top. I think everybody can see that. And then as I scroll down, the white bar in the bottom, on the bottom. And when I open this up in Firefox, initially this bar on the bottom would disappear in Firefox. So we had to do a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of fixes to make sure that the websites looked consistent. Other times we've had websites where, for example, this white bar here on Get Seasonal Tips to make your home look best would disappear, and you couldn't see the font and different things like that. For example, in Internet Explorer is really well known to developers for having a lot of issues. And not only that, every time a new version of the browsers come out, so Firefox 11, 12, or Internet Explorer 7, 8, your designer or your developer needs to update your website. So you need to have an ongoing relationship with them, because your website will not work well with the new one. That's just how it goes. So you want to make sure you have someone that knows what they're talking about when it comes to this, or your website will look really funny. I had an opportunity to be listed on Business Development BDC Bank, and they were listing suppliers. And when I sent them my website in Internet Explorer, all the text was like in columns instead of going sideways, and it was totally unreadable. It was totally embarrassing, and this was years ago, but I lost the business because of that. So that's how important it is, and it's up to your web development team to check every single version of the latest versions, and even the last 3, because not everybody's updated. And that's when we talk about different computers. So different computers have different fonts. If you're on Windows XP, for example, I think that's the older one, you cannot get the latest version of Internet Explorer because your computer's too old to load it. So again, you might have clients that have really old computers and they're looking at some ancient, they've loaded some ancient Internet Explorer that if they're your target client and you've got a lot of them, you need to configure your website to their settings, not just what you love to use. And the way that you can track that is by using your website analytics. So again, your web development team can tell you what works for your website. Again, I'm going to use our landscaping client as an example. He was always looking at his website on his mobile phone, and he wanted to do all this optimization based on how he saw the website on his phone. And when we looked at the analytics, 80% of his clients were just on their desktop. So we would, in that case, we would recommend that he optimize the desktop version and not the cell phone version. So that's an example. Again, if you have clients that might have older computers, you want to look into doing some design that works with older versions of Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, Safari. Well, great. We're having some problems with voice, but I'm back. Okay, we're going to go on to internal links. This is also a very interesting topic. So what I want to bring your attention to is Wikipedia. They have the highest ranking pages, and whenever you search for anything, they are at the top of all the searches. And why is that? They have a great internal linking system, and they have thousands of pages, hundreds of thousands of pages. So those are 2 factors that you want to have on your website. Not hundreds and thousands of pages, but the ability to do internal links easily and the ability to have lots of pages. So what internal linking means is when on Wikipedia, when you write something or when you're reading something, you'll see some blue highlighted text. We'll just pull something up. I don't know. Somebody suggest something. Let's see. Spices. So Wikipedia has the first one, list of Indian spices. And when we click on it, you can see that you can click on spices or Indian subcontinent. So you want to have that on your website. And in order for you to do that easily, you need to have a system that can easily create new pages. So on Wikipedia, I think you just join 2 words together, or there's a way to make a new page. And once the person's written this paragraph, they just go back in and write something about spices, and it takes you to a new page. And that's how they're able to have so many pages and be the expert on everything regarding information that you're looking for. So the same thing, you want to do that with your website. You want to have a system where you can easily create new pages. And like with the spices page, this page is really tiny. Vegetables probably going to be a really long page, but let's check out this page. So some pages are really tiny. Some pages don't even have very much information, and others just go on and on. When the search engines look at your website, they see your pages on your website as like an encyclopedia. So just like Wikipedia, all the pages on your website are an encyclopedia that you keep going on and on within them to find information. And your blog is like the newspaper. So your blog should change all the time. The pages on your website should be, they change less often. They just have great information. So with the internal linking, what you want to do again is be able to link all those pages and reference them. So with the spices, if we look at pungency, we can link back to spices or different things. And the same thing, spices took us to pungency, for example. And you want to be able to do the same thing. Our software system does that, and you want to look for other developers or other kind of software companies that have that system. If you're not able to do that, what you want to do is use a site map. So you've seen those where there's a page that has, it's like a table of contents for your whole website. And the reason you want to do that is because the search engines will follow those links. So if there's, say, one of these circles was just standing on its own, the circles in the tree, the search engine would never be able to find that. So every page in your website should be linked to another page. And that comes from having the ability to create your own pages. When you create lots of pages, you want to have between 500 and 700 words maximum, and not only for the user, because most people don't really like reading a lot. There's some statistics that say they would rather go to the next page and read something by clicking on a link. Like there's some pages that are just say read more and you go to the next page. And the other reason is because search engines only search 500 to 7 words, and then they stop searching. So you're losing a lot of optimization that way. So what can you do with all this information? Well, we talked about the search engine and the marketing things that you can do yourself. You can get yourself a phone number. You know how to do that now. You want to list it on the top of your website, and you want to have it in a way that's searchable. So it needs to be in text. It should not be an image. You want to have an address, same thing. Have your addresses listed, postal codes. You want to have inbound links that come to you. So those are coming from your associations, the Better Business Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, things like that. And any strategic alliance you can make with a big organization, you join their membership and they link back to you. And outbound links, you want to be strategic about who you give your points out to and how you do it. So by all means, you want to link to resources, but make sure you use it in context. You write an article about it, or you have one of your pages like the Wikipedia. And if you notice, Wikipedia hardly ever links outside of their website. So here's a couple links, but again, they're in context. With marketing, you want to have a call to action. Always have a call to action and a bright red button or whatever your favorite color is, telling people what they should be doing on your website. In exchange for after the call to action, you want to send them to a landing page or a capture page and have some great reasons why they should share their email address with you, and you provide them with a great gift. And then you follow up with your clients. You follow up with a blog or a newsletter that you send out, and you write a little schedule for yourself to make that happen. And if you don't feel like making that happen, you hire somebody to write the blog for you. And then we have our technical tips, and those are things that you would need some technical help with. So we're here at the question and answer. I hope everyone's enjoyed the show. I'm just going to move back. Okay, there we are. Can everybody see me? Does anybody have any questions or something that I can clarify? So hopefully I haven't overwhelmed everybody. And if you have more questions about specific things that I've talked about, so like the phone line or getting an address or some tips around how to do that for your business, also about having different locations for your business, you can by all means send me an email or talk to me about that. Or if you have questions about how to set up these great websites that I talked about, we have all the technology to do it, and they look great, as you could see from our landscaping website, and they're easy to use. So hope you guys had a great time. I'll see you soon.